5 reasons why you should do CMA in 2024. Reason number 1, increased earning potential and career advancement. Having a qualification that is globally recognized, having an understanding of finance and accounts that is way deeper than anybody who can just do a simple BCom or a simple BPA. CMA puts you in a position where whether it's your knowledge or it will be any interview you crack, you will be way ahead of most of your peers. CMA definitely puts you ahead of 99% of the students, and the ones who have completed maybe a CA or an ACCA or a CFA, you can be at the same level or almost at the same level as these guys. A normal graduate gets anywhere between 3 to 4 lakhs. A CMA who is graduated has the potential of earning anything between 4 to 7 lakhs. So that's step number 1. And as always, after a couple of years of working, maybe 3 to 5 years, you can always keep applying for opportunities in other countries. And because it's a global qualification, you have the opportunity to advance your career out of India to countries like US, UK, Dubai, Australia. I think we go above 100 countries where CMA is recognized. Point number 2, strategic business decision making. Now, if this sounds a little difficult to follow, don't be worried, but it is one of the most sought after, and I personally feel one of the most fun careers you can make because it is a constant challenge. There are no rules. Strategic decision making is not for everybody, but it's a very in-demand skill. And CMA is all about decision making. It helps you use numbers, finance and accounting numbers, and objectively make the best decision for the company or for the stakeholders. And there is a lot of elements of qualitative understanding as well. See, when you do something which is like a taxation or something into reporting, there are rules you have to follow. You cannot go out of those rules. But when it comes to decision making and strategic decision making, there are no rules. So if you can thrive in that situation, CMA is a great course. You can even use it for your own business if you have one. And this skill is something that you should have in your life, and CMA is a great first step to getting you there. Point number 3, versatility and career options. With a CMA, you can start at the ground level of any company at an analyst level, as we call it. And then you can go into various directions. You can get into budgeting, you can get into forecasting, you can get into variances, you can get into, like we said earlier, strategic decision making, and you can eventually land up to a CFO and in some cases a CEO. Now, this means that you are not again restricted to one career path. Over and above this, the amount of industries you can get into are also unlimited. You don't have to stick to a finance or an accounting industry or a consulting industry, which you might start with. But then you can get into, like, for example, we have some CMA candidates working full-time with us, and they are working with the education sector. And they're not only into teaching, but teaching is also one great opportunity. But they are also into other profiles because they understand how to make decisions. You can get into tech as an industry, you can get into manufacturing, you can get into, like I mentioned, consulting, and everything requires an understanding of decision making using finance and accounts. Point number 4, professional credibility and recognition. Now, CMA US is governed by a body called IMA, Institute of Management Accountants, based out of the US, has offices in India. It has MOUs with multiple other bodies across the world. And a CMA is a traditional old age degree that everybody knows of. So if you're a member of this IMA Institute, not only do they give us a lot of opportunities to network with individuals in India and globally, they connect you with companies, but more than that, just the fact that you have that on your name as a suffix, you have that certification, you can put it on your business card. All of this gives you an equivalent status to anybody who has a master's or a CA kind of a qualification. So CMA also puts you in line with those professionals that are going to be part of your industry in your future. Point number 5, adaptability. One of the beauties of CMA US is that it teaches you how to have robust knowledge on a lot of concepts, but the nimbleness to adapt to everything that is ever changing in the real world. So just because you learn finance or accounts does not mean you can't handle tech, like I mentioned. It does not mean you cannot enter a new industry and be part of it to figure out how that new industry works. a landscape which is ever changing, and your ability to adapt will always keep you in demand and will always keep you ahead of competition and will always keep you relevant. CMA is a great training ground for that. And finally, a quick bonus point. CMA US, since the pandemic, has exploded in India. A lot of companies in India now recognize CMA US candidates having massive amount of understanding of business, strategy and decision making, and of course, finance and accounts. So hopefully, if you take this up, whether you go to another country or stay in India, whether you add qualifications like an MBA or a CP or an ACCA or a CFA to CMA or not, CMA US alone is good enough to get you on a career trajectory that you will not be like a normal graduate. So I hope that this helps you guys. And as always, leave a comment if there's anything else we can make for you all.